Yes, sir. What's good, man? What's going on?
Shit, everything. Down. New year, new day, first of the month, first of the year.
Nah, no doubt.
Excited, really excited.
What you got going on the rest of the day?
Shit, this the main thing, man, getting this down. I woke up ready for this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, Sunday, first of the month, first of the year, 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. That's a divine number.
Nice.
So this shit lined up real nice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready.
And the thing is, bro, we ran into a lot of hiccups, you know, getting this thing set up. And it was already planned. We planned everything out, but we ran into a lot of hiccups setting this thing up today.
And you know, let me hit that real quick, because what's real about that shit is, like, even like I told you on the way here, I got pulled over. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been pulled over in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Of course, when we start doing this shit, the damn camera don't work. And what I noticed is when you up to something big,
right?
When you up to something big,
talk about it, bro.
So when you up to something big, you're gonna get tested immediately. As soon as you declare, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, or this is what I'm gonna put up there, you're gonna get that chin tested immediately.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So that shit is par for the course. So when the camera didn't work, I'm sitting pulled over. I done got pulled over, man. I ain't getting pulled over in 2 years. I'm like, damn, this shit must be big.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get tested to see if you're really about what it is that you say you're trying to do. And if that happens, just know that you're on track. Those are signs to me. Like, it messed the energy up a little bit, technical difficulties, but that just let me know how big it is.
Especially when it happens early on.
Yep.
Like, it's like, you know, a lot of times that negative energy, right? The devil,
yep,
you know, he worked. And the thing is, I think, you know, there's a lot to think about when you start, like, putting together things you need to do and understanding that this is bigger than us.
Yep.
Right?
Facts.
Our goal is, we set a goal to inspire 100,000 men.
Yep.
100, you know.
That's a lot of people.
And yeah, I know you guys. I know it's a huge goal, but this is what it is. And being that we set, you know, a huge goal, you know, we already know you're gonna get tested.
Yeah,
it's coming. But here we are. So without further ado, this is the Grinders Pod. This is the Grinders Only Podcast. Ooh. All right. So this is the Grinders Only Podcast. Myself, Will Beckford,
Dalles Maxwell in the building,
the man, the OG. And again, this is for inspiration. This is for motivation. This is to really give guys the tools to stop being average, right?
Yep.
To stop thinking average.
Yeah.
To stop performing average.
Yep.
To stop being average husbands.
Yep.
To stop being average fathers. To stop being average siblings. Like, we set a goal to really inspire 100,000 men to be alpha, right? And understanding that, you know, a lot of times when we set goals, we look at the goal itself, but we don't look at the internal parts of the goal we set, understanding that there's things that we are going to have to do in order to accomplish that goal. So, you could talk a little bit about that, and we'll get to the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a goal, but I think really what you said is, like, inspire, man, to give you that spark. You know what I'm saying? So you can put the gas on it, but we want to create that spark and really just challenge people to set a higher personal standard for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
When you raise your standard, you're gonna raise your performance, and I feel like as men, you know what I'm saying? I might be a little bit old school, but whatever you're doing, you're the center of your operation, whether it's your family, whether it's your kids, whether it's your business, at work. We have a lot of opportunity to set influences, to influence others, but the first person that's got to listen to us is our damn selves. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's really about setting a personal standard for you to commit to, and then watch how everything around you starts flowing when you up your level of commitment.
Nah, no doubt, man. It's without saying and not being cliche, is super important. All right. Now, I introduce myself. I'm Coach Will, owner of Grind Time Fitness and Performance, former athlete. You know, I help men get out of the rat race. Right. I help men level up when it comes to their physical and mental their mindset, their bodies, of course, like really move in the right direction when it comes to just leveling up and getting to a place in your life to where you do not settle. All right. My guy, Dalles Maxwell, he'll tell you a little bit about himself and then we'll get to the next point, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, entrepreneur, barber by trade, father. I relate to myself more as an inspirational speaker, not a motivational speaker. I like to spark that flame inside of people and teach them how to maintenance it so they can get the life that they love, because that's what I'm into. And it's really just about inspiration for me, man.
No doubt. Like, okay, so we now that we've introduced ourselves and we finally got this show on the road, we're going to talk about, I really wanted to make this first segment about transformation. The reason why I wanted to make it about transformation is because right now we're at the top of the year. You know, a lot of people are looking at their lives and things that they were able to accomplish or not able to accomplish in 2022. So now we're at a place to where we're setting huge goals, based around New Year's resolutions.
Yep.
And most of those goals require a transformation.
Yep.
Now, the reason I wanted to focus on that is because, Dalles made a huge transformation. And I think it's important to really detail this and really have it come from an individual that made the transformation, that made the mental and physical transformation, and really get the details of how he was able to do it, right? I can really talk about transformations. I can talk about it I can talk about it on the surface level. I can talk about it, at a 50 feet view. But when it comes to, making a real transformation, I can't say I was the guy that was overweight. I can't say I was the guy that, gained weight and lost it and got the six-pack back. I can't say that. So it's super important for me to really bring somebody in that I admire, somebody in that I respect, and someone that I know have done the work, right? So, Dalles, man, let's talk about your transformation. First and foremost, where were you and where are you now?
So, I mean, for me, I don't want to say struggle because that's a powerful word, you know what I'm saying? But shit, since my 20s or mid to late 20s, I've always been a little bit overweight. Not enough to where somebody could be like, you fat, but I knew. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to get in shape. I always wanted to get in shape, and I always worked out. Like, a lot of people are doing certain things, but they're not doing certain things in a certain way, right? So I was going through the motions, sitting on a treadmill, doing all the stuff you see people that's out of shape doing. And then it got to the point, especially after COVID. I mean, during COVID, that's when everybody was chilling. They used that as an excuse to not really do anything. And the realest part is that the impact on my kids, you know what I'm saying? I could tell that my kids were noticing that I was falling off. And as a man and as a leader, your kids only listen to what you do, not what you say. What I just said, I said kids listen to what you do. How you listen to what somebody does, because that's what people pay attention to. And so for me, the transformation had to be something that happened on the inside and then outside so I could actually inspire them. And I needed to know that I could do it for myself. So for me, it was just what's it going to take? What is it going to take for you to do it for real? What's going to be the reason for you to do it? For you got the how and the what. But really, honestly, in the information age, that's the easiest part. You know what I'm saying? You could Google how to get in shape, what to do, how to do exercises the right way. But that's the house. That ain't the foundation. You got to build on the foundation. The foundation is the why and the when.
Right.
So you got the how and the what, and then you got the why, which is underneath everything, and then the when, and then you get to the how and the what. So a lot of people say, what do I got to do? Dudes come up.
Nah, so let me slow you down.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Now, let me slow you down. This is important.
Yeah.
This is super important, and because I know we're about to get to what it actually takes. But don't skim over your transformation, bro. Let's talk about what happened. Let's really get into the details of where you were when you started and where you are now. How you look, how you feel, how much weight you lost. Let's talk about that. Because that's something we can't skim over. At the end of the day, these guys are listening to this podcast, and they want to know. A lot of them won't see you.
Yeah.
So
that's real.
they won't see the before and after pictures. Let's talk about where you were, right? Instead of saying a little overweight, let's talk about where you were, and let's talk about where you are now.
All right, so boom. So when I came to you when we first talked, when we was outside, and I don't even know how long ago that was. I don't know if that was right after COVID or whatever. I was probably like 250 and some change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, that's the heaviest I've been in my adult life. I'm 6'3". So for me, that's fat. Body weight index, whatever you Google, I'm fat. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't feel good about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that I could be this man and I got all these goals and I got this self-image the way I see myself, but that shit really wasn't lining up with how I was living. You know what I'm saying? It was borderline kind of depressing. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, I didn't feel good. I didn't have energy. I didn't like how my clothes was fitting. You know, post-COVID, I realized everything that I would try on had to have elastic on it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really dealing with that. So I was overweight in my mind, and I was heavy, I was lethargic, and I just didn't feel good about myself. And so when you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to be approaching anything you're doing with the right mindset. And the way I got my goals set up, I'm like, I can't go at it like this. So I was at a point where I was overweight, clothes fitting crazy, wasn't looking good. I look at myself in the mirror, and it's like, damn, is this what you want for yourself? Like when you was a kid, is this how you wanted to look? Is this how you picture your life? And that shit just got to the point where I was like, nah, man, this ain't it for me. And then I had to really manufacture a reason that was going to be big enough for me to keep with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have discipline problems. You know what I'm saying? I could get up and work out, but not falling off and keeping it consistently and adopting the mindset of a person that lives in shape. And like, honestly, man, you were an inspiration to me because I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, this dude lives like this. And see, this is a lot of things what dudes do, man. They'll look at somebody in shape, they'll see a joker in shape, and immediately they'll start dividing themselves from that result.
1,000%.
They'll be like, well, that dude always looked like that, or that's genetic, or he plays sports, and you start counting yourself out. But I was like, nah, if somebody did it, that means it could be done. So then the next question for me was then, why aren't you doing it? And I couldn't come up with no good enough reason to justify why I wasn't giving it my all. And I wasn't satisfied with that no more. I was cool with it before. I was cool with walking around being lazy, not having the energy to play with my kids, not having the energy to do stuff, and then just, I'm stressed out. I got a lot on my plate. But you got to get to the point where I had to get to a point where my reason for doing it was heavier than my excuses not to.
No doubt.
Because if your excuses are heavier than your reason to do some shit, it's going to always outweigh it, and you're going to always find a reason to not do it. So for me, it was about losing the weight, gaining the muscle, being more flexible, but having more energy. And I mean, it's a vanity part of it too. I want to look good in my clothes. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you just go about everything better. And I didn't like how I was approaching things because I knew in my heart, my health wasn't really the priority in my life. So you can't jump over your health and get to anything else because that's at the core of everything.
Without a doubt. And so, again, where are you now?
I weighed myself at the gym the other day. I was probably like 207, 206.
So you about 50 pounds down.
Yeah, for sure. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something. I set a goal. Appreciate you.
Listen, bro, I have to applaud it. Now, let's talk about the goal, and then we're going to talk about the strategy.
Yeah. So for me, at first, it was just a weight loss goal, which when I turned 40, I was like, man, I'm not going to be wearing these 38 jeans no more, these 36. I'm going to get into a 34. And I did that by my birthday. But the problem with having a target and not having a way to live is that after I did it, I fell off. I fell back because I didn't have enough reason, which is why you got to have an ongoing reason. Like I said,
we had that conversation.
I was like, I did it, and now I'm chilling, and then I started backsliding because it's like, what's next? And that's another thing about always constantly challenging yourself. You got to always be constantly challenging yourself because you're going to ring that bell. You're going to hit the goal. So my goal was like, damn, I want to get into 34 waist. I don't want to be fat. I want to be able to sleep. I want to be able to stand up straight, my posture and all that type of shit. But then the other day, man, I went to the damn store trying on some jeans, and damn put a damn 33 waist on it. Like I told you, man, that's the size that I was in my junior prom when I was 17 years old.
Crazy.
I haven't been under this weight in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling my brother, I said, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm not done because there's always a journey. It ain't a destination. But for me, it was the weight loss. It was the muscle. It was the strength. It was the endurance. And then also the energy and the mental clarity that comes from just being healthier. Once you get to the point where you got some momentum going and you're like, damn, it just makes more sense to eat right. At first, you're struggling to do it because you haven't done it long enough to actually benefit from the results. But once that loops in that 30 days, and you be like, damn, I feel better when I put better fuel in myself. Like, damn, was that donut, was that chips really worth it? And your brain start being like, nah, bro, we don't do that. I was joking with you when I first got started because I had you in my head. So boom, I'll be at the store. I get some water. I'd be like, damn, I'm gonna fuck with this Snapple. And be like, I feel like you be coming through the damn little thing. Be like, man, is that lined up with our goals? Like, damn. Nah. And like you said, with the caloric deficit, I looked at it like a budget. I got X amount of calories to spend each day. What I'm gonna spend these calories on? I'm like, boom, Snapple 220. I really want to spend 220 calories. So for me, it was a mental mind shift on how to look at the little small choices that I was making every day and how them choices compound into the results that we get. And I looked at it like a business, you know what I'm saying? Like as a businessman. So boom, in a business, you're trying to increase revenue and reduce expenses. No doubt. Your body is the most important business that you're going to be in. So what are you trying to do in your business of your body? Well, we're trying to build muscle and increase endurance and reduce fat. So it's the same ratio. So increase muscle and reduce fat. So then are your decisions aligned with that goal? And then that's how the way that I looked at it. I'm like, damn, my body's my business. I can't do nothing else in life if I don't take this number one business as the most important thing. And so for me, it was a mental mind shift. And I'm going to be real with you. In my mind, I got a counselor thing. I be talking to myself. And so I'll be putting my goals out there, and it's a part of my mind be like, bro, you ain't serious about that, because if you was real about that, we would be doing this low-hanging fruit shit that's right in front of you, which is the thing that you could start doing for free.
Right now.
It ain't no barrier to this other than your level of commitment. So when you say you want to be this dude or you want to do this stuff, we don't even take you seriously, and that's a lot of people's problems. A lot of times when you say something, set a goal out, you don't even take your own damn self serious. That's why you don't go after it. So it was a matter of having some tough conversations and being like, who do I want to be as a man and who do I want to be as a father for my kid? You know what I'm saying? I remember my daughter said something to me a couple of weeks ago. I was in the house, and she was like, damn, Dad, you really got in shape. And I thought about that shit. I was like, when she said it, I was like, damn. It's going to up my credibility with my kids. If I'm be like, let me show you how to, like Jay-Z said, I'm going to show you how to do this, son. Jokers don't want to hear about what you're talking about. They want to see what you're doing. And when you put that into action, it just changed everything for yourself. It ups your own confidence and your belief in yourself. And then people start to deal with you in a different way because they know that that dude is committed to himself. So that means that he's going to execute on a different level. So I just tied it into all of the benefits. And I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, man, really at the end of the day.
Nah, hey, listen. You know, I felt the need. They needed to hear that. They needed to hear that. They needed to hear your perspective, and they needed to like really. They really. Most people, again, when it comes to setting goals, and you know, when we start really dialing into how you actually accomplish the goal you set, they're not looking at that. They're looking at the goal itself. They're looking at, okay, I gotta work out like this, eat like this, and stay consistent doing these things. But they're not really, and it's very important because I'm gonna talk about the strategy in a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's very important, but there's still a dynamic to transforming mentally and physically. There's a dynamic to it, and it's a lot of what you spoke about. It's if you don't. And you spoke about your purpose, right? Yeah. You spoke about how important it is for you to be in shape, and having that move towards your accomplishments and the things you want to accomplish outside of just your fitness. Yep. But understanding that if your fitness and your body isn't right, nothing else will.
It's first. It's the first stop. 100%. It's the first stop.
Now, here's what let's talk about the strategy, right? So. You know, I spoke to that. I know I've known Dalles for a while, but we hadn't dialed in and really started to like work when it comes to, you know, when it comes to fitness. You know, we would talk and I would give him tips and tricks and tools and do this and do that. But when he came in, he was like, look, bro, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Like it's time for me to change.
For sure.
Right. And I think everyone has their time to where enough is enough.
Yeah.
And he knew rocking with me, it was going to be different because there's not just a vested interest based on finances and that's my guy. So he know there's things that he wouldn't be able to get by on me. Saying, I did. He know I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear that, dude. We got to do A, B, C. I got to see you check in.
Yeah.
I got to see you doc your workouts. I have to, like, these are the things because he knew, all right, I'm going to just ride with Will because he going to hold me accountable for real.
And you know what's real about it? I got to hit that real quick because, like, I knew I had to be ready to tell you that. Because I knew once I put it out there and be like, this is what I want to do, I knew you was going to take that shit seriously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew you was going to be like, so you want to opt into it, then this is what it's going to. And see, that's the thing about, like, you tapped on a couple of things, like the accountability piece, putting it out there. A lot of people are scared to say what they want because once I say what I want out loud, then that means I'm going to have to do what it takes to get that
100%.
or I'm bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? And you got to just deal with that. So I knew, like, damn, once I tell this dude, he going to take that serious, which means I'm going to have to not be playing no games.
And, right away, I was like, I'm going to get you the information. I'm like, look, this is what you want to do. I'm going to get you the information, and we going to get started.
Yeah.
And you got to it right away.
Yeah.
And so with anyone that's trying to get in great shape, that's really trying to transform their bodies, first and foremost, you have to transform your mind. We won't really get into the details of that. We'll get into the details of that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But there's 3 things that you have to do, 3 things that you have to have in order for you to get in great shape.
Yep.
For one, you need a nutrition strategy, right?
Facts.
You need a way of consuming your calories. I don't care what it is. I know there's multiple ways you can eat to get the result, but you need a nutrition strategy that works for you.
Yep.
Secondly, you need a fitness strategy, right? You need a fitness strategy that works for you. Some people like high intensity intervals. Some people like only strength. Some people like cardio based. Whatever works for you, you need a strategy that works for you with your lifestyle. The next thing you need is accountability. And like I was telling Dalles, there's 3 forms of accountability that I feel every individual needs, right? There's internal accountability, there's external accountability, and there's virtual accountability. I coined that. Don't worry about it.
Yes,
I got you. But the internal form of accountability is you holding yourself accountable. It's your purpose. It's the thing that gets you off the couch when you've worked all day, you're tired, and you don't really feel like doing anything else but kicking your feet up, laying down, and relaxing. That's the thing that gets you off the couch when you feel that way, right? Your external form of accountability, that's someone else. That's a coach, that's a spouse, that's your brother, that's your friend, that's telling you, nah, get up, bro. Let's get going to the gym, right? That's that form of accountability. And then you have your virtual form of accountability. That's the form of people that you watch, people that you emulate. Those are the people that you aspire to be like, the people that you're watching every day on social media. That form of accountability is super important as well. Why? Because you have your phone in your hand, strolling through your phone all day, every day, right? So if you got your form of accountability, the internal form of accountability, you have your external form of accountability, the people you talking to every day that's pushing you to do the things externally, and then you have your virtual form of accountability, the people you follow, the people you aspire to be like. It's hard for you to fail when you have that many forms of accountability. You have a nutrition strategy and you have a fitness strategy. So I encourage everyone to really follow that format, all right, if you want to get in the best shape of your life. Now, with Dalles, I was able to be his external form of accountability. The reason he got to where he is now is his internal form of accountability was so strong, but he knew I was watching. So he's not a guy that needed me to like check in and text him every day, but he knew I was watching. He knew I knew if he didn't check in that workout, because, we have our form, we have our form of accountabilities. within my online training program that I know, right? You have to, after you're done with your workout, log your workout in. I'll see it. We rock and roll.
Yep.
And he knew I was watching.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, there's a lot of people that I've trained over these 15 years. He was probably the most consistent out of everyone when it came to like getting up at 5 o'clock. Every time I woke up at 5:30, he's already documented his workout. Already done, right? So I knew I didn't even have to, like, we was communicating, but every time I talked to him, he like, bro, I'm 10 pounds down. Man, I couldn't even believe it. I got on a scale on 15 pounds down. Bro, it's crazy. I'm 25 pounds down.
Facts.
Damn, dude, I'm 30 pounds. So, and for me, all I told him was I congratulated him, right? Made sure I gave him, because at the end of the day, as a coach, we need to inspire. We need to inspire our folks. We need to make sure they understand that this is not small. That's why I didn't let you. That's why at the beginning of the podcast I didn't let you roll over.
Yeah.
That accomplishment because it's super important. And I built out his nutrition strategy. Now, when it came to his nutrition strategy, it was really more so coaching. Us having conversations about how important is tracking your macros, how important it is to get an adequate amount of protein, how important it is to structure your meal plans even when you're out and you're moving around, right? That's the nutrition strategy. It wasn't keto, paleo. It wasn't intermittent fasting. It was understand exactly when are you eating and what are you eating. Right? Excuse me. And the next thing was the fitness. Right? We needed to incorporate more strength. We needed to be consistent on the training, and we needed to have, and like we always talk about this. I train everyone like I train my athletes. Whether you're an athlete or not, I really feel like the life-leets, right? This is what I call the guys, the individuals that former athletes, right? Most of us are former athletes, and even if you wasn't an athlete, we are athletes in our own right. We're getting up, we're moving around, running around with the kids, and for us, there's a strength component, there's a high-intensity interval-based component, there's a flexibility, mobility component, and there's a core component. And we build out the programs based on that. And Dalles was consistent and still is consistent with that to this day. And that's the reason he's been able to accomplish the goals. Outside of what we're going to talk about next, the mental aspect of the game.
Go ahead. And I was about to say that's the perfect segue because, for me, what I took it as, it was a philosophy, right? So what I do is I take the principles of it. I'm like, all right, sometimes it may be rigid to follow something specifically, but I was like, all right, what's the core of this shit? Like what is the base of it? So for me, it was just changing the philosophy. So it was small little choices. Like if I mess up and I'll eat some snacks or some chips, you know what I'm saying? I got a Tostito problem on the low, you know what I mean? So, but instead of taking a whole bag and going to my room, I'm like, bet, you could hit the Tostitos, put a little bit in a bowl, but then have yourself enough discipline to be like, this is all I'm going to eat. So what I did was I started slowly training myself just to make better decisions over time. A lot of times I think what people happen, they get excited. It's the new year. This is the first of the month. They get excited and they go over hard. They go buy all the gym equipment. They do that hour-and-a-half workout, but then it's not sustainable. You got to understand change, especially when you're used to doing a certain way. It's like taking a cruise liner and turning it in the water. You ain't going to be just damn doing donuts in a cruise liner. So you got to slowly prep your mind to just start making smaller, better choices. Instead of getting a Simply lemonade, I'd be like, just drink water, bro. Like, just drink water. So it was the slow process of rewiring my brain to make the smaller decisions better, and then those compound into the bigger decisions. So once I understood the principle, all right, this is what this dude's saying. He's saying protein. He's saying pay attention and be conscious of these things. So when I started making my choices, I'd be like, I'm going to get that, all right, boom, I'm going to have a hamburger, I'm going to have a cheeseburger, but I ain't going to do the bread. You know what I'm saying? I just started testing myself to see if I had the discipline to make those small choices. And then when I was like, yo, this works, and I started seeing results, it gave me the power to be able to sustain it and then make the bigger choices. So a lot of times people bite off more than they can chew, or what I struggle with, and I don't know if other people struggle with it, is that you get a good groove going and then you fall off for whatever reason. You go out with your homeboys.
Yep.
You had some damn buffalo wings. You had a couple margaritas. You feel like, man, fuck, I've been doing, you know what? Damn, I can't. Don't beat yourself up. All right, boom, we did that. That's behind us. All right, what are we going to do? So getting back in the game and not beating yourself up for falling off, because you're human, man. If you're not used to thinking like this, if you're not used to living like this, it's going to be a transformation. So you got to be a little gracious with yourself when you're allowing yourself to adopt these new patterns of thinking and behavior. So that's how I looked at it. Like, what's the philosophy? I understand what Will's saying. I'm not that technical of a person. I'm a concept person. So I'm like, what's the concept here? You need to feel your muscles, protein. Mm-hmm. You need to be doing some resistance. And even the workout you gave, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like cardio. I feel like it's stupid. I'm like, what am I on the treadmill for? Where I'm going? This is dumb. But the workouts that you did with the spacing and the timing, I was always sweating during that joint. So I'm like, that's all I need. Now, if you work out that hard and you're going to go eat something, it don't make no sense. I was talking to my man at the gym, and he was like, yeah, I got to do more cardio. I'm like, bro, you really could just eat different. It's like, do the math on it. And this is back with the deficit, right?
Calorie deficit.
So like, boom, you're going to have that donut, right? That's 400 calories, just to say. Mm-hmm. Bruh, that equals an hour to an hour and 20 minutes on the treadmill just to get back to ground zero. Now, what's worth it for you? You want to spend an hour on your life just so you could have a donut just to be back at ground zero? It's just the way you make choices, man. So for me, it was a philosophy change. Like, is that worth it? And is that lined up with your goals? And if the answer is no, it's like, well, what you gonna do about it?
And when you think about the importance of it, right? Or when you think about, when you said, yo, is it worth it? That donut, the taste, all that would be gone in 30 minutes. It's like,
that should be going by 30 seconds.
No,
bro.
but I'm saying like I'm just saying like
whatever you get from it.
That whatever you get
think
from
you getting from
whatever
it. Whatever
you think you getting from it, is it really worth it? And you know, it's not.
It ain't. It just ain't.
It's not. So let's finish off with, we're gonna talk about just the mindset you have to have, right? We spoke about that. You spoke about that just now, but we'll dial a little bit more in on that, and then we're just gonna really talk about purpose and how do we sustain after we've accomplished the goals we set. How do we sustain, and how do we really like how do we dial in on not being content with where we are and the goals we set and accomplish, but continuously get better?
Yep. And I think a thing is too, for me, is like, even with you, you know what I'm saying, you know, not having that fat personal trainer syndrome, is like, you know, I think it's more, how do I want to live? Not the goal I want to hit, but how do I want to exist? You know what I'm saying? It went from, what do I want to hit? Because you want to have a tangible target, but I was like, how do I want to be? Like, how do I want to live? And so for me, that required understanding that it ain't a destination, but that it's a journey. Like Big Nip said, it's a marathon. So when you look at it as a sprint, you be like, all right, boom, we about to go to my homeboy's wedding in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? I'm a no cardio, all water. Then once you in Jamaica and you come back, what's your reason for doing that?
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't a destination. It ain't just about the finish line. It ain't no finish line. It's really about, who do I want to be throughout the duration of this thing? And so for me, that was the shift of not just hitting a goal, but how did I want to exist as a man? You know what I'm saying? So that's what did it for me.
No doubt. Nah, that's phenomenal, man. And you know, I think we'll both wrap it up on purpose and the importance of purpose.
Yep.
In anything. Yep. Right? Everything we do, everything that's huge that we want to accomplish, is if it doesn't have a purpose tied to it, it's not going to work. Right. And we can go back and forth and really, you know, play this ping pong match. But anybody that have ever accomplished something that's worth working for, always had a purpose tied to it. Yep. And you spoke before about, you know, how important it was. I remember we spoke, and after you hit your goal, you was like, nah, man, like, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm you know, everything, my clothes is fitting better. Like, I'm fit. People telling me I look good and this and that. I said, okay, so, like you got the abs yet? You was like, nah, but I ain't really. I'm like, why? You like, nah, I ain't really. I'm lean as shit, but I ain't really got the abs that I want.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so why you not going for the abs? Like, why you ain't going for that? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
He was like, nah, because. I said, bro, ain't no because. I said, bro, you know, the biggest verification or the biggest validation that I've ever gotten is when my kids feel like I'm the strongest person in the family, or I'm the strongest out of any of the dads, and you know they preach that. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily preach that. I take that back. But they harp on that, right? I hear them on the games, and they're playing the video games, and they communicate with their friends, and they're like, man, my dad got guns. My dad, like, you know, my dad got the big arms. My dad got this, that, bop. And that validation they validate me and what I've been able to do physically without validating me, right? And I think that's super important. I think for anyone, you know, you have to have a purpose, and my purpose is to continuously inspire my kids, right? Now they eat, you know, my kids eat better, right? Without me even pushing them to eat better. They want to eat chicken, they want to eat beans, they want to eat rice. My kids work out 3-4 times a week without me pushing them to work out. I got a 9-year-old, and he comes in, and if I don't have time to train him, he come in and talk to one of the trainers in my gym and say, look, can I work out today? Yeah. Right? And they take their time and work out with him and train him. and the reason is because of the lifestyle I live. And I think that's more important than anything. Of course, I can inspire men, but the biggest inspiration, right, to me, is to be able to inspire my boys, and that's super important and that's my purpose.
And that's real. And I'm gonna tell you, man, when you said that to me, man, you said what your son said, you know, to one of his homeboys, like that really hit me, man, because you know, I'm speaking for the fathers right now, right? And you know, a lot of times we grow up and we say, I want to give my kids something I want to give them things that I never had, right? So that's one level of. The real level, next level is I want to teach my kids something that I was never taught, right? But in thinking through this transformation and this conversation, I was like, nah, the next level is showing them something that was never shown to them by example. You know what I'm saying? Like when you activate your children, your son or your daughter, you actually are creating a standard for what they're going to aspire to, not by what you said, but what you're doing and what you live in. And that's a lot of power as men. And women too, but I could only speak for men. We have the power to shape our children's mindset of how they approach life by the example that we show them, not the things that we telling them. That all do as I say, not as I do. Ain't nobody gonna follow that. And it's back to the fat personal trainer thing with you. I'm like, damn, this dude living like that. I see you at the fair. I know they got funnel cakes and hot dogs and everything that we like at the fair. But again, it's about the mindset of leading by example versus just preaching. I think that's what impacts people, especially your children. My son now like, Dad, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to jump rope. I'm going to hit the bag. Now he's associating a behavior and an activity with being a young man and being disciplined, and he's feeling good about being able to do that for himself. The greatest gift that you could give somebody is the gift of confidence of going at something hard, and the best way to do that is by showing them how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that plays dividends exponentially as far as your children go, as far as dads. Like as a dad, when you sitting down, you got to ask yourself, like the real question when you're in that private moment, what are you showing your children? Not what are you telling them, not what are you showing them?
What are you showing them?
Because that's what they're going to follow. And for me, it hit me because I started realizing, damn, my kids ain't listening to me, but they damn sure are watching me. They're listening, but they're watching harder than they listening.
They're watching more.
And I was like, damn.
Because it's a natural thing to do that.
That's how we learn. You learn by imitation and emulation. You know what I'm saying? That's how you learn to do anything, by watching it.
I got to see. Like, you could tell me a whole bunch of shit, but until I see it,
it don't mean
seeing
nothing.
is believing, right? Till I see it does carry weight because you my dad. I love you and I feel like you're not leading me in the wrong direction. But it's different though. Like showing me you going and you losing 50, 60 pounds is different from you saying, I'm going to lose this weight.
It's a different stratosphere. It ain't even in the same damn continent. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because here's what your kids know about you. They know what you forgot about yourself. And what I mean by that is they know you lying to yourself, but they don't want to get slapped. So they be like, damn, my dad be saying this. My dad talked this, you could be whatever you want to be. My dad talks this, what sounds good, but he ain't really following his own advice. I'm not going to say it to him, but what they really just decide is that it's reasons to not go hard, because my dad's showing me that you could want things and then not pursue it. And the kid ain't going to say, hey, Pops, how come you said you want to do this, but you don't really be doing it? And they're not going to say that to you, but in their mind, they're like, mental note, Pops be saying this, but he don't be doing that.
How many dads that's listening to this have told your spouse or your friends and been on the phone and saying, yeah, I'm going to get in shape this year, right? And you're still, 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight, right? The kids hear that. They hear that. They understand. They hear that. I'm going to
say it like this. Because I had to take the gloves off for myself, man. If you don't do what you say you're going to do around your children, your spouse, and whoever looks up to you, you're not only disrespecting yourself, but you're disrespecting their future.
1,000%, bro. Nah, I can agree with that. Because they're following you.
They're following what you're doing. They're not following what you're saying.
They're following everything you're doing, right?
And you know what? And let me just say this real quick. And for me, I realized too is that it comes down to leadership. You know what I'm saying? They say people are leaders and people are followers. Listen, you don't got to have nobody following you to be a leader. Leadership is about, are you capable of following your damn self? If you set out to say, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to do you believe yourself and then do the action that support what you say you want to do? Because every time you set out to do something and you don't muster up the reason or the discipline to do it, a part of you dies. And then you start to not believe your own damn self. Your friends, your family, your wife, your kids, they've been stopped believing you. But when you stop believing your own damn self, that's when it gets dangerous. And that's the point where I got to. When you talk about manufacturing that purpose and that why, be like, man, you be talking heavy, but you don't really be rolling it out like how you be talking. And I had to just sit with that like, damn. How am I going to have the credibility that I need for the man that I want to be if I'm not living what I'm preaching? And I'm like, I can't do that to my kids. I can't do that to myself. And so that's why for me, that was my enough is enough moment.
Yeah, and we was literally, without, going too far into like people we follow and people we like, but people that, we like recently started looking at sideways, because it's like, yeah, you talk this and you talk that and you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be that, but it's simple disciplines that you can't follow.
And that's, go ahead.
No.
Nah, I mean, we don't, like you said, we don't got to say no names, but like I'm sitting here watching, and like you said, let me hit that virtual thing, because that was bars and you glossed over that, like kind of how I do, like that virtual piece, right? A lot of people on social media, 9 times out of 10, you're going to watch this on social media, right? The question is that you have a physical diet and then you have a mental diet, right?
Yes,
you got a spiritual diet. Like these all work. These are the threes: the mental diet, the physical diet, and the spiritual diet. So the mental diet is what kind of thoughts you're taking in, and spiritual diet is, how's your relationship with your creator, meditation, all that. We don't got time to go into that. But when you think about virtual accountability, I be looking at my Instagram feed. I be like, man, this junk food right here. You know what I'm saying? I can't follow these people no more. So who you following, who you're paying attention to is what you'll be thinking about. Energy goes where your intention goes where energy flows. So what you're thinking about is what you start projecting. No so that piece, when you said that virtual piece, you tell me to follow something. Boom, I read this book. I'm on it, because you got to create an environment around you, even if it's virtual, that supports your goals and your dreams. If you don't got the right thing around, listen, man, if you're trying to kick crack, you cannot be hanging out with crackheads, man. It's just going to be tough.
Right.
So you got to set that kind of environment up that's conducive to your success. So I don't want to gloss over that virtual environment, because when you said that shit, I was like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I never thought of it like that. I'm doing it, but I never thought of that as like a pillar.
And we've had conversations about that. We've had conversations about, people we've unfollowed and making sure you set your social media up to support exactly what you're doing, what you're trying to get accomplished, and essentially where you're trying to go. And it's super important, just like with anything else, right? You want your finances to be right. You can't hang around a bunch of broke people, and you can't follow a lot of garbage on social media that's not geared towards helping you accomplish that goal, right? And it's the same thing. And I'm big on having that form of accountability. Of course, we're not perfect, right? But if you have if you do the right thing, you'll have the ability to notice when you're not doing the right thing and switch out of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're strolling social media and some pop up, because now you really can't get away from the garbage on social media. Even if you follow 13 people, they'll still put it out there.
Yep.
Right? And if you don't have your mind right, you'll click on that clickbait.
Yep.
You'll go there and then they'll send you a whole bunch of garbage right behind it.
Yep.
So you really have to have the wherewithal to be able to pick up exactly what's being put down and shift your mind or shift your direction or whatever you're looking at or what you're paying attention to get back on course. So again, man, bro, this has been unbelievable, and I knew it would be like this. I think this is this is number one.
Yeah,
we gonna tap in with y'all every week.
Yeah,
we're gonna dial in, and we again, the goal is to have a haven for individuals to tap in, right? Be able to take some of the perspective, apply it and get better. Right? Week in and week out, day in and day out. All right.
I mean, that's really it, man. I'm just excited to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we've been talking about this for a while. I think it's necessary. It's something that I would have needed. So I'm pretty sure other people are looking for it. And it's like creating a culture. It's about creating a community and a philosophy that you can kind of tap into. Because I know when you first getting started, these are new ideas. You know what I'm saying? It's like muscle memory. It's like mental muscle memory. You got to get accustomed to a new way to think. And I think the timing is perfect. It being the beginning of the year. I know a lot of people are setting New Year's resolution, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's going to be different this time? And the difference is having the structure, having the mindset, but more importantly, having the community and being inside of that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Every time we talk about business, we talk about improvement, we talk about transformation, we talk about books we read. Hey, go follow this. Like, it's about really just bringing that conversation to people so they can kind of tap into the environment, because you got to be in a supportive environment, whether it means physically or just mentally. And so I think I know that's what we're doing, which is why I'm excited to just be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Man. So, guys, we appreciate you, lending your ears. We hope you can take nuggets from this podcast and start to really apply it to your life and improve your life. Thanks again, right, for tapping in. And we'll see you next week on the Grinders Only podcast.
Yeah.
With Will.
Dalles Maxwell.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Boom.